Hello, and welcome back to All the Mods 9. Last episode, we did quite a lot of mining with the Chunk Destroyer, and we got ourselves a solid amount of ores to process. So today, we're going to take these ores and process them into their actual ingots. Okay, I think I've now taken everything out of the barrel that isn't going to be processed, so we can actually pack this guy up and deal with it later. But I think I found a way to break down all of our blocks of raw ore into the normal ones. I just have this running into a multi-servo press from Thermal series. This has an unpacking die inside of it, and this is just unpacking all of those blocks into raw ore. And then I threw a resonant integral component on this to increase the speed by about 4 times. So hopefully very slowly this should tick through all of these blocks, and then we can process them into ores. So we need to jump into some Mekanism to go through some ore processing. And actually, I'm just now learning that we don't even need this, because these blocks of raw ore can actually be put into the chemical dissolution chamber, which is the first step in ore processing anyway. So we'll just go ahead and do it just like that. And I'm going to ruin all of my hard work just like that by throwing a compact upgrade in here. To begin our smelting line, we're going to take our netherite barrel with all of our raw ores in it. We're going to hook this up so that it's going into a chemical dissolution chamber, which we can just do with a little pipe here. And we always want to make sure we'll need to get some sulfuric acid into this, which we're going to do by taking some of that sulfur dust with the sulfur seeds that we have. And we're going to turn this into the gas this way. We may end up needing to actually build a sulfuric acid line along this too. I thought that you could just turn sulfur dust into sulfuric acid, but we may need to set up a line for this. So this is basically going to be the same way we did it over there for the fission reactor. Okay, I think I've figured out the right setup for this. Let's start back here where we have our cable coming in, and we're going to export sulfur. This will need a crafting card so the system knows to craft sulfur. This will turn this into sulfur dioxide. We have a sink running into an electrolytic separator, separating it into hydrogen and oxygen. We want to output the oxygen into the chemical infuser. So that should be front output 2. There we go. This should start making some sulfur trioxide once these are both in there. Then we do need to deal with the hydrogen, so we can just output this to a trash can. That should take care of that. Sulfur trioxide should go into this first input slot here. So we'll output that to the left, and hopefully it doesn't matter which input slot it's in, because that one's going in there. Alright, then we have water going into a rotary condensator. This is going to output all that water vapor into the chemical infuser here. And just like that, we start getting some sulfuric acid. And then lastly, that sulfuric acid is going to go into this chemical dissolution chamber. Output, and make sure we can input from this. Perfect, and now this should start running. Albeit it doesn't look like we're making enough sulfuric acid, but we'll see after we deal with the rest of this. The chemical dissolution chamber is going to take our raw ore and turn it into a dirty liquid. I guess it's technically a gas, but you know. We're then going to put this into a chemical washer. So we want to input our dirty slurry into the chemical washer here. This one might not be outputting. Man, these output slots are... it's confusing. It gets a little crazy to keep track of. Okay, that goes in there, and then with a little water in here too. This should start processing our dirty ore into clean ore. We're then going to output that to the next step, which is a chemical crystallizer, which is going to turn our slurry into crystals. We then need a chemical injection chamber to take those. We also need to get hydrogen chloride into this system. This one already had some because it was one I used before. We're going to make that hydrogen chloride in a chemical infuser. And this is where that hydrogen we were making is going to come into play, so we can stop trashing that and have that go into the chemical infuser instead. We then need to make chlorine inside of an electrolytic separator, which is made from brine, which we remember is made in the thermal evaporation controller. We need to input some water into this. We will also need that resistive heater, and once this bad boy starts heating up, it should start producing some brine, which we can then input into the electrolytic separator, making sodium and chlorine. The sodium we can just trash for now. Definitely don't want to trash that though. And then we can output this into this chemical infuser to make hydrogen chloride, and then output that into the back into the chemical injection chamber, and that should fill this up, and we should start getting shards of ore. Whew! Are you still with me? This is a little complicated. The next step is going to be putting this into a purification chamber, and we'll also need to get some oxygen into this, which we're making somewhere. Let's hook up a line all the way from back here and output oxygen to the top of that. Oh, it needs to be gas, that's why. Too many. Okay, that should output oxygen into this bad boy. Our shards should start processing into clumps, which we are going to put into a crusher. Oh, silence. Oh my goodness. Every time that's going, I never realize how loud it is until I turn it off. Oh, anyway, our clumps need to be output into this crushing factory. Make sure we turn on auto eject and auto sort on this. This is going to turn all of these into dirty dust. We'll output these into this enrichment factory, which is going to process it into clean dust. And then I think we can finally smelt it and be done. Get this input, auto sort, and then auto eject. Oh man, oh, that is beautiful to see that. And I think everything is still working beautifully. I hope. Yeah, this is getting dirty ore. I think everything's good. The hydrogen chloride is a little slow. The chlorine's a little slow. Let's see. Which means brine's a little slow. And this is only producing 6 millibuckets every tick. Maybe if we increase the temperature, it'll be faster. Yeah, I threw a couple more resistive heaters on this to increase the temperature. Oh yeah, that cranks it up quite a bit. We can also put speed upgrades onto all of these machines. Except for the evaporation plant, I think. We just go in here and install all of these speed upgrades into each machine to hopefully get a little boost in our ore processing line. Especially the ones that really need it, like this electrolytic separator with the brine inside. Oh, that made it so much faster, wow. Oh no. I think we're running out of power. Uh-oh. Okay, it looks like we are actually fine on power. Some of these machines just take a couple of these energy upgrades in order to have more capacity, because when they're trying to run at full speed with all these speed upgrades, it can't hold enough energy to process that. So it looks like really the only thing holding us back right now is the amount of brine that we're producing. And actually, looks like we're being held back by the amount of water it's getting. Let me see if I can upgrade these mechanical pipes. Hopefully an ultimate mechanical pipe is enough to input all of the water that we need. Okay, this is better. We're still not getting enough brine though. Okay, I did some experimenting. These things are huge. Okay, this is the max size that a thermal evaporation chamber can be. And, ooh, that one's not supposed to be, okay. Anyway, these resistive heaters are what were slowing us down on the heat front. Basically, you can go in here and set a custom fuel or usage from the energy that you want. So I set it to 1,000. And now this guy... Oh, because I didn't set the valves. That's why. Okay, now it should be heating up. But yeah, look at how much more this one is heating up now and how much more it's producing. We probably don't even really need this second one. We are full on the brine here now. We're full on chlorine. The only thing that's slowing us down now is this guy back here, it looks like. Oh, because I don't have any speed upgrades on it. Oh yeah, now we're definitely good on hydrogen chloride. And then the last thing I'm going to do to this is swap out that chemical injection chamber for the ultimate injecting factory. Same thing, but this is going to run a lot faster. Okay, so I think our brine problem is finally solved. I added another electrolytic separator to this to help produce more chlorine and deal with the brine faster, because one wasn't enough. And we're now getting plenty of hydrogen sulfide to run all of these, I think. Oh, this is oxygen. Well, anyway, the next problem we have is that this is only running one crystal at a time, which is not fast enough to process all of this. So I got myself a couple more crystallizers. And we're just gonna run all of these guys. Since you don't have to do anything crazy, you just input the slurry and have it output the item into the injecting factory. That should literally be all we have to do to get this to run. And then we're back to being low on hydrogen chloride. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, no, it's not fine. I can make this better. Oh man, this is getting complicated. Actually, I don't know if I could fit that in there. I think this is good though. I think we're in a good place. It does work. I think that's what we're going for. Oh man. Anybody else's brains hurt? I do want to kind of throw the unobtainium in here and maybe the vibranium next, just to see what we can get out of these. So once this finishes processing, we should get some unobtainium slurry and then have that run through the whole system. It does have to clean out the azure silver that was in here before though. And then I'll do vibranium next, just to see what we can get out of those. And then hopefully we get enough out of these to where we can make seeds from them and we won't have to go mining for them again. Be pretty nice. Now once this runs through all of our ores, the main thing we were looking to get out of this was the lead and osmium, I think it was, because we need quite a lot of that to upgrade our fission reactor setup so that we can get all of the nuclear waste in the world to continue and hopefully get the fusion reactor set up to get lots and lots of power and to produce some antimatter. Oh, I also just realized I've been playing in Quake Pro this whole time. Probably didn't look too nice. The good news is that once all of these silver shards run out... No, stop filling up with iron. Oh, gosh. That's not what you want. I want my vibranium to process. What if I just slip that in there? There we go. Okay, I think it's over. Oh my goodness, that's so many. Okay, this was one raw ore block that turned it into 30 ingots. Oh, it's so close. Fortunately, we do have enough for unobtainium, but not enough for vibranium. So we'll be able to get unobtainium seeds, but I need to mine a little more vibranium, it looks like, to get the vibranium seeds. So we'll deal with that probably another time, because in order to actually even use those, we do need to still find the upgrades for them, the smithing templates. This one can be found in the nether, and this one can be found inside of the other dimension, so we'll go exploring for those maybe next episode. We'll see how I'm feeling. Yeah, I think really the only thing that's slowing us down is how much hydrochloric acid we're producing. And we seem to have a severe lack of brine coming in too, even though we're pulling it at 700 millibuckets a second. Or per tick, that's even more. That's that's too many. And we're running out of energy. Oh gosh, okay. That sounds like another problem for another day. But you know, we did good. I think we did good. We got lots of ores coming in now. Lots more iron. So, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.